What's going on, my peoples? Hope everybody's well. Pray that while you watching this video that you're in good spirits, that you have peace of mind, that you got joy and strength in your heart. Um, as you can see, I'm at work. I'm on a night shift, and work is a little light tonight. I had a little time where I was kind of sitting and reflecting, and I was thinking about some things, and I feel like I just got a message in my spirit. So I figured, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and not wait. Let me share now. This message is for uh, my beautiful queens, for all the females, the feminine energy, the ladies, the mothers, the nurturers, the daughters of our society, of our culture today. This message is for you. Let me see how I want to start this off. First off, I want to start by highlighting a difference that I feel in my spirit is happening right now between the masculine and the feminine. We hear a lot of people talking about healing, people healing emotionally, healing from trauma, people getting therapy and things of that nature. When you think about healing, you think about an infliction, you think about a wound, you think about something that is torn apart, that has now made it fragile and weak, and now has to be pieced back together and made strong and whole again so that it can be more durable. And yes, it is healing that is taking place in the world today. But in my heart and in my mind, as I really think about that, I feel that the healing that is taking place is more so for the masculine, for the men, for the masculine energy, more so than it is for the feminine. And here's the reason why, and I'll explain. Men are warriors by nature because men are tasked with the role of being protectors, to protect something from danger. So a protector, if you think about like a bodyguard, what does a bodyguard do if some danger is happening over the person or the thing that is protecting? It will stand in front of the danger and it will take that hit so it won't damage what it's trying to protect. So men are warriors by nature. So that means that we go into situations that we may potentially be inflicted with wounds. We are in a battle. And after the battle, that is when the healing takes place. And who are the ones that help tend to those wounds? If you go to the hospital, who's the first person that you see before a doctor? You see a nurse. A nurse is a nurturer. See those words, having those roots in it. A nurturer is someone that tends to the wound and help the inflicted, because the inflicted has just came from the battlefield protecting, because they're a warrior. That is the nature of a man. The nature of a man is to take the is to take the infliction, and the woman is there to help nurture that infliction. So it's not a secret. We are in a patriarchal society, male dominated society. It's been like this for the last 6,000 years. Since recorded history, men have been dominating and ruling this planet. And within that, they have been fighting for position, fighting one another for position of control. And throughout this, and I'm speaking in a literal sense and in a metaphysical, allegorical, psychological standpoint, right? On all aspects, as above, so below. So in the literal sense and in a metaphysical sense, this has been taking place with the masculine. We have been in battle. We've been in war with one another, war with ourselves. And we are at a stage now where we are tired. And I'm speaking from a masculine perspective because I'm a man. So I have incarnated in this energy. So I feel this energy. I understand this energy from an innate perspective. We're tired because we have been fighting for a position that is not our position. It's not our role. To be a protector, you can't protect and lead per se at the same time. A leader has to be able to have the liberty to have clarity of mind, to have strategy, to have a game plan, to execute this thing. And if it's the leader, it has to be able to have vision and know where it's going and be able to walk that through. The person that is leading is not necessarily the protector, because it's kind of like taking your attention off of where you're going if you have to stop and fight off the elements around you that's blocking that path. The leader wants to be able to guide. And I think that men have taken this place as guides and as leaders, and we have been trying to lead our culture, our society, in this path when we really didn't know where we were going, because it wasn't our role to take us to, as a whole, as a unit, to our destination. It was our role to pave the way so we can get to our destination, to get rid of the weeds in the way, to get rid of the predators that may try to prey on our society as we lead our society to our destination. It's our role to pave the way. It's our role to protect. Okay? So we've been trying to lead and protect at the same time. And it has left us in a ball of confusion, fighting ourselves and fighting one another. And it has left us tired, and it's left us wounded. And now we almost ready to just throw in the towel and say, we don't want to do it no more. Men are healing, okay? We are healing. We're in the season of healing, men. This message is for the women, but I want to clarify this. This is the healing. And I can elaborate a lot more on this because I'm a man. But this message is for you females, for you ladies. Ladies, you're not really healing, you're the healer. Yes, you have been through some things. Yes, you have endured some pain and some hardship. But, and I've said this a lot in conversation with a lot of people. Men are built for pressure. Women are built for pain. Women, they can endure some pain. Just the thought of childbirth is, excruciating to a man. But women, they do it. Women are built for pain. Women can endure pain. Women per se have not been wounded to the point that they quote unquote need the same nurturing and the same ointment and medicine so they can heal like men need the healing. What is happening with the feminine right now is a cleansing. Women, you are going through a cleansing, okay? And the cleansing and the healing are two different things. Think about, again, as above, so below, as within, so without. Think about a woman in their menstrual cycle. Every month, a woman goes through this cleansing process. I started to really research this and look this up, and I'm like, dang, why is the woman's blood being purified, right? And being washed every month. And ours is not. The only time I'ma bleed is if I cut myself. And hopefully while I'm at work, I put on some PPE and protect myself and I don't cut myself. I don't bleed every month. I might not bleed for months, right? There's nothing that will cause a man to bleed unless it's what? An injury, right? This is back to my point of what I was saying. When a man is wounded, he has to heal. The only way a man is going to bleed is if he is wounded. A woman is going to bleed because she is cleansing, right? Because there's something very unique about the process of the feminine energy. It's something unique about the process of a woman. A woman's body is made to bring forth life. A woman's body is a pathway to some destination. A woman's body is created in a way to lead and guide. When a woman is going through her labor, she is guiding a culture. She is guiding a son or a daughter through a pathway into a destination, into a new beginning. This is the role of a woman. And as you lead into a new path, and now you reach your destination, now the woman nurtures. The woman trains, teaches, guides, lead. These are the leaders. And this is going to be hard for men to really digest because pride is going to get in the way, because we have been misled in the roles, and the understanding of roles have been tainted and twisted for 6,000 years. Okay? Since the beginning of recorded history, we've had this mentality of men being the leaders, the women following the man. And I mean, to be honest, we've done a very poor job at it. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Look at history. We have done a poor job at leading our society, leading our culture, leading our families, men, and not even allowing the woman the equality to lead alongside us, because the woman has stepped back and allowed us to lead a lot of times, because we are a stronger being physically and mentally, again, because men are designed to handle pressure. Remember that. Women handle pain, men handle pressure. Women can't handle the same pressures that men can handle. We can have the world on our shoulder, like that Greek god Atlas, and he got the whole world on his shoulder, right? Our strength. And women have recognized their strength and said, oh, because this man is strong, because this man is a protector, because this man is a provider, that is a role. Because of this, then he must be the one that we are follow. And he must be the one to lead us to our destination as a culture. So women have stepped back and allowed that. But if a man had have been really understanding his role and understanding his place, he will understand that he was actually the helpmate for the woman, to help the woman find her true essence and unleash and unlock her true potential as a creative mind. Okay? You have two hemispheres of the brain. This is science. You have a right, you have a left. The right hemisphere is more conducive to creativity and passion and feeling and emotion. And this is what births new ideas. It's the left side of the brain, which is the more observant, analytical, logical, mathematical, calculating part of the brain. You can't put that first, because if you have nothing to work with, the abstract, okay? If you don't have the abstract, it's nothing for you to formulate into something that is more structured. It is the left brain, the masculine brain, that should take the feminine side, the creative side, and aid in letting this creative idea come into an organized, manifested thing. It's our role as men to help structure and keep that protection around this more fluid and circular, way of thinking, right? We put the barriers and the blocks up. If anybody understands Fibonacci, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It shows the relationship between straight lines and circular patterns. And the circular patterns, the spiral patterns is feminine. The rigid angled lines is masculine. But you can fit that circular patterns inside of those angular lines was for a reason, because we are here to protect, to guard, okay? While this fluid circular motion has its way, okay? And then we follow that and we continue to put up the protective barriers to let this creative energy flow. So, I've been thinking about a lot of things when it comes to masculine, feminine, and just thinking about the world, how it's changing, even unbeknownst to us. It's just happening. People know that. Like, women are stepping up, right? You see more women taking on business roles, more women opening up business, more women taking on leadership roles in companies, more women in politics, more women. I mean, the women have been running households, but you see these women being a voice. You see the women stepping up and creating ideas. You see this energy, right? All the movies, man, every movie. There's one movie my boss had us watching. I forgot the name of it, on Netflix, where the lady was like trapped in a cargo Connex box that was on a ship, and it was out on the sea, and she was pregnant, and you know what I mean, she had a whole baby in this ship with holes in it that was filling up with water, and she survived and all this stuff. I'm like, man. But I mean, from that to all of the superhero movies out, with women, Woman King, and you see all of these Colombiana and these women in secret agent missions, and they doing all of this stuff that normally these were men roles, right? And I ain't gonna lie, it kind of got annoying because it was just like, oh, this is unbelievable. But ain't no way this 130-pound woman is kicking all of these 200-plus-pound men's butt. You know what I mean? But yeah, that might not really happen, literally speaking, because we are the stronger, species, the stronger being in this whole scheme of things. Not saying that a woman can't kick a man, but it's just not designed to be that way, right? But what this is showing that the shift is happening where the feminine energy is saying, hey, we need to take our rightful place. And it's not even that the feminine energy is forcefully doing this. It is happening at a gradual pace as men are actually getting tired of being in the wrong spot. We're tired. And you go ahead and do it. Run the show. What you want, babe? I got your back. Okay? How do you see our household being run? I got your back. And you got other men criticizing the men that are so-called feminists, and I was one of the ones. I wrestled with this for a while, like I'm not a feminist and all this and boo 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 boo, But I thought about the fact that I'm a father of 5 girls. Only have one bonus son, right? And I was like, man, God, why you keep putting all these women around me? You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to show me? And he's trying to get me to see something. Know your role. Know what you're evolving into as a man, and be able to have the understanding of what role you're going to play in the opposite of you. And I don't like to even use the opposite, the other spectrum of who you are, and that's the feminine. We're the same, we're one and the same, we're just on 2 different spectrums, but we're on the same level, right? Or 2 different degrees on the same spectrum, right? So I start to think about all of this, and I'm big into words and numbers, and I'm always the etymology of words and breaking them down, and I start to think about, let me hit you with this. Every feminine word, right, you can take a masculine word out of, but you can't take a feminine word out of a masculine. Let me explain. One man, right? You can take man out of that word, which we know the W-O stands for womb, okay? The womb, W-O-M-A-N, man, that a man comes out of. One man. Man, can you take a feminine word out of man? No. You can't take the word one man out of man. It's just man. But you can take man out of one man. Why? Because a man comes out of a woman, right? Lady, L-A-D-Y. What masculine word can you take out of lady? Lad, L-A-D, which is, what is a lad? A lad is a young male, right? You can take a lad out of a lady. You can take a man out of a woman. Keep going. She, S-H-E. What can you take out of she? He. Get rid of the S, you got a he. Can you take a she out of a he? No, you can't. A he comes out of a she. Her, H-E-R. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? You can take he out of her, but you can't take a her out of a he. Every place you look, the female comes first and the man comes out of the feminine. I started thinking about the word hereditary. Okay? Hereditary. Now it's also a he. You can take the word he out of hereditary too, because it takes the masculine and the feminine to pass on the genes, right? But even how you pronounce it is giving ownership to the feminine. It's not he heredity, it's heredity, right? You inherit something, it's passed down, right? Something is hereditary. It's passed down from the woman, from the feminine energy. Everything comes out of the feminine. People always used to ask that question all the time, like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, you know? The man cannot come first, right? But we live in a masculine, very misogynistic society that has made God a man, okay? That has totally just denounced the even notion of the divine being feminine, okay? Especially in religion, especially in Western religion, especially in Abrahamic religions, okay? God, he. No her. Only in other forms of understanding do you begin to hear the feminine, right? When we talk about Mother Nature, right? It's not Father Nature, right? But even in scripture, even if we get into biblical scripture and you see wisdom is even described in that scripture. They messed up, they left that out. It's described as a her, as a female, very feminine. Even in Genesis, in the beginning, right? That word in Hebrew, bereshit, right? It's a feminine word. In the beginning, in wisdom, is really what it translates to. God created the heavens and the earth in wisdom, right? In the beginning is wisdom. It translates that word if you do the etymology and you get to the root understanding of that word. And the various meaning of it is, in the beginning, in wisdom, heaven and earth and everything that we know existence was created. It was created in her, in the womb, right? And it is through wisdom and understanding that we have knowledge, we have understanding, we have guidance, we have clarity, we have direction, we have purpose. We have all of that in wisdom. That is where you get the word philosophy from. Okay? It's the love, that's filio, of Sophia. Sophia means wisdom. The love of, and what's got, that's a feminine name, Sophia. Okay? It's not a masculine name, right? The love of wisdom, right? The love of wisdom is what compels us to protect and preserve it. We preserve wisdom. That is the masculine side of things. So go back to the cleansing. The women are going through a cleansing. They have been going through a process of getting rid of all of the toxicity, right? We talk about being toxic, right? All of the toxicity that has been placed in their blood, because they can't give birth to a new era with that toxicity inside of them. So just like their body automatically, involuntarily goes through this cycle and releases through menstruation. Menstruation. Think about these words, guys. Menstruation. Men, right? That's us. We're the toxicity inside of the bloodstream that we have to get. The woman, the feminine, has to release. We have to release that. Okay? In our society, it's happening. It's being released, and it's happening naturally. We can't help that we're evolving to it because we're going into a new era. It's a shift that has been happening, and we're right at the cusp of seeing a huge change in this shift. And if the more and more we come into the knowledge and knowledge, understanding, and realization of this, the more that we can stop resisting it, and we can let go of, these are the hindering factors: fear, pride, arrogance, okay, and ignorance. That's the number one. Because we don't know, we fear what we don't know, or we fear being taken out of what we think is our power. Men, we think it's our power. We feel like that we'll lose our power if we sit back and we be like, all right, let's have a woman president, or let's have a woman in office, or let's have a woman as my boss. I have 3 female bosses at my job. The boss of all bosses is a female. Then the division manager underneath her is a female. And then the operations manager underneath her, well, I said that, I have 3 women before we start to get to my superintendent and my supervisors and so on and so forth. And I'm not gonna lie to you, down here at the bottom, us men, we be complaining about it. But you know, you see these women just walking in their roles regardless, and they're not trying to be men. You know, they're not trying to tell us how to pick up the heavy stuff and how to change and do all of that. They're not even trying to tell us even how to think analytically or logically. They're not doing that. They're just saying, hey, I'm in this role. I'm gonna orchestrate this. I'm gonna see the eagle bird's eye view of this whole thing so I can help keep this order and this structure leading us towards our destiny and our goals. And it's happening. It's happening whether or not you like it or not, men. Okay? And women, just understand that we are healing because we have been damaged. Let us heal. Okay? Men, let them cleanse. They have to. Let them get in these roles, in these positions. They are going to come to us when they need our help, and they need our protection, and they need our provision. They will come to us. This is the reason why I be seeing all of these things on, on social media and all this. And it's like women want to be 50-50 and all this stuff and go Dutch, but then on the other note, I want a man that's gonna provide for me. If it ain't providing, the man like, well, which one do you want? Well, yeah, you should be able to protect and provide for a woman, but that doesn't mean just because you're protecting and you providing that means that you're supposed to lead. Protect and provide and fall back and say, baby, where are we going? What do you see for us? Put this plan in order. Put this business together. Put this idea together. Put this household together. What do they say? You give a woman a house and she'll make a home out of it. But you got to build that house, man. You have to provide everything that woman needs, and she's going to take those elements and she's going to create something wonderful. She's going to create something beautiful, and guess what? It's going to be nurturing for us because we're going to love it. We're going to come in from a hard days of work out there and on a battlefield and be able to take our shoes off and walk into there and smell the lavender burning, and you know what I mean, and smell the Febreze, right? Nice, vacuum floor, fluffy pillows, and take our dirty clothes off, and we lay on that comfortable, soft bed, right? And relax, and get nurtured, and get rejuvenated, get your healing, so you can go back the next day, and you could go and you could provide and you could protect. So, this was just a message to the ladies. I'm rocking with y'all. I got 5 daughters. 2 of my daughters right now, young adult women, ladies out there, learning how to be independent and stand on their own and make decisions. I got a 17-year-old right now embarking on adulthood, ready to go out there and lead and change the world. I got 2 younger ones now that what am I gonna do to learn from their older sisters and the mistakes that I have made with not providing and protecting where they really need it the most. See, man, we think that providing and protecting is just, I'm gonna put a roof over your head and clothes on your back and food in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna buy you whatever you want, and we think that we're doing our job as men. No. We're not talking about just physical protection. Men, are we able to provide emotional protection? Okay? Are we able to provide a safe place? I've been learning that as a father, to be able to learn. I went through a season of my kids can't express to me. They can't tell me what's going on with them. They can't talk to me. And I'm like, well, you can tell me anything. Like in my mind, I just feel like but I didn't provide that atmosphere for them to have a safe place, for them to come to me, for them to be able to share, for them to be able to express their ideas about how they see their lives unfolding. It was me projecting what I think that you should do. And that's not my role. I learn from my children every day. I learn from my daughter's moms. I learn from my aunts and female friends and co-workers. I learn from the women that God has placed around me. I learn. And I'm learning each day that it is not diminishing my masculinity. I'm not being a man because I fall back and I say, hey, I pay homage to a woman that knows where she's going, right? Because men, we think we know where we're going, and we want to be this alpha male. We want to be this dominant. We want to be this. And, at the end of the day, society has placed this in us with sports, making us be competitive and compete against one another. And at the end of the day, what they call it calls them good sportsmanship. We really don't want to compete, man. We don't really care whether or not we lose or win the game. We just want to play. We want to let off that energy. And when we can get off of that high horse of is win, 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 no, it's not about whether you win or lose. It's just about how you play the game. Because somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. Does that mean the person that lost that game didn't play a good game? No. It's not about winning or losing. It's how you play the game. We've been playing the game all wrong. We've been going at each other. And the whole time, our women sitting on the sidelines being cheerleaders, cheering us on, when they should have been the ones with the playbook, right? Drawing out the plays, coaching us on how to win. You even see that more women, more so than ever, is in the sports now. I love sports, I love basketball, football, but I don't even follow it like that, really, that much. And women be, oh, did you see that game? Did you, you know? Because they understand the game. They understand the rules. We got to stop trying to make it ours, okay? And learn how to share our world. And learn that women has been trying to share their world with us. But we don't. We don't want to go to the ballet. We don't want to go watch the love story movie. We don't want to do that. Women want us to do that. They invite us into their world all the time. They invite us to that left, to that right side, to that creative side. Go to the paint and twist and the paint with a twist and all of this stuff. And we just do it just because that's my girl. And we don't even embrace it. Okay? Embrace the feminine energy. That don't make you soft. That don't make you not a man. Okay? It's about being able to understand one another. Because this is what it's all about. This is unity. This is harmony. Harmony is two different things blending together as one. We're going through this season where men and women are learning how to blend together, and we're not really fully understanding what's happening, and it's causing this tension behind it, and this women like, I'm done with men, and men like, I'm done with women, and just, and it causes that, it causes this imbalance. And I have no problem with, gay or lesbian people at all. This is not, judging or nothing. That's fine. Express yourself. Do whatever you feel like you need to do. But also, I feel like a lot of this is just because it's not a deeper sense of understanding about this. And it's like, this is the only way I can express this. It's through how I relate sexually or what I'm attracted to outwardly. Okay? Yes, that's fine. That's an outward expression of this. But on a deeper level, it's women tapping into their masculine energy. It's men tapping into their feminine energy. And when you learn how to balance that, when you learn how to say, this is how I incarnated here as a man, right? But that doesn't mean that as my outward expression of being a man, growing hair on my face, and got a hard chest, and I could pick up 1,000 pounds, that doesn't mean that I can't tap into my softer side and understand what that is and how that relates to the women that are around me. Because when I tap into that, now I really truly know how to protect. I really truly know how to provide. I know how to provide for the feminine because I have gained an understanding of the feminine. A woman knows how to lead the masculine because I have tapped into that masculine energy. I understand the pressure that a man goes through to get up and have to go out into the wild every day to fend for his family. I understand it. So let's start to understand, this is my closing. Let's start to understand what is taking place, that we can give each other grace. for men to heal, for women to cleanse, to be renewed. And now a rejuvenated man and a refreshed woman can come together, right? And be able to respect one another. Okay? That's my take. I hope y'all be blessed. That was my little break. I'm gonna go back and do some work. Peace.